What's up, adventurers, and welcome back as we discuss the State of the Union for Nintendo with their latest financial report, and just go over their current 2019 plans and sales projections. And without further ado, Damon, how are you doing today?
Oh, Sean, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. It looks like Nintendo's doing even better. So,
It does. This is going to be, like we always say, it's going to be an interesting year.
oh, for sure. Recently, Nintendo has provided the world their current spring 2019 quarterly financials, which finish up their fiscal year of 2018. And as we see, they did not meet their initial projections of 20 million for last year, but they got fairly close for the lineup that they had. And with that, they actually adjusted their projections for this year, which I think are definitely reasonable. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So first, let's go through the Switch hardware numbers. So currently, the Switch has sold 34.74 million units. It's officially now past the Nintendo 64. I believe the next console that they have to beat is the Super Nintendo. They have sold 187.5 million software sales, which equates to about 5.4 games per system. Just for reference, the 3DS has about 5 games per system, and about 1 of every 5 is a Pokemon game. So, good job, Switch. You're doing pretty well.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty well.
So yeah, Damon, what do you think of their sales projections and how they've been doing for this past year?
So far, I mean, I think they've, like you said, they didn't hit quite their goal, but I mean, another 17 million isn't bad. And I think people are taking it a little like, oh, they lied or they overshot themselves, but you know, I think when they readjusted their number later on a couple months ago, I think, you know, that was a smart thing to do. And, you know, we're not necessarily analysts, but I think Nintendo kind of knows what they're doing, and this year they're set up to do a lot better.
Yeah. Now, something that I think it should be noteworthy, do you think the delay of Metroid had anything to do with their projections being lowered at the end of last year and not reaching their 20 million mark?
I don't necessarily think it hurt it a lot, because I mean, there were a lot of hopeful fans that wanted to see it in 2019, but I don't think it was going to be, you know, anywhere near that. So a lot of people who
Well, I was thinking it could be the Metroid Prime trilogy could have come out at the end of last year or early this year, and that could have boosted the sales.
Yeah, maybe fill in that gap. Well, maybe. I mean, now that it's kind of past that point, the only thing we've got is moving forward. So if it had come out, I mean, it could have boosted sales, but that's something we'll never really know. So,
all right.
What do you think about the, overall hardware sales? I mean, software sales.
I think that is pretty impressive. Checking with the Wii U averaged about 7 games per system, but I think that's mostly because, one, it was only about 16 million Wii U's out there, and all those people were scavenging for games, so it's kind of easy to rack up on games per system if there's not that many out there. And also the Wii U had some great games.
Yeah.
So many underrated great games.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this number is pretty solid. As long as they're tracking better than the 3DS, I think that is impressive as for itself as is. And from what we can tell for what's coming for the 2019 game lineup, it's just going to get even bigger.
Yeah, especially, you know, you got to take into consideration that the 3DS games, I don't think there may have been 1 or 2, you know, special collector's editions, but I mean, not 1 or 2, but more than that. But the special editions that were over, you know, probably $60. But the Switch has $60 games, and you know, it's tracking better per average.
Yeah, even if we get ports from the Wii U that are $60 contractable freeze, we'll get to that too later on. But
overall, I think it's doing really well.
Yeah. So let's go into the top games sales overall. So from number 1 going down, at number 1 we have Mario Kart 8 at 16.7 million, which is nearly a 50% attach rate for the Switch, which is insane.
Yeah.
We got Super Mario Odyssey followed by Super Smash Bros. At 13.8 million in only, 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months becoming the highest selling fighting game ever.
That's crazy. It's so crazy. It's gone leaps and bounds above, a lot of other fighting games and even, earlier titles.
Well, that's what happens when you got the entire roster ever. Next, we have Breath of the Wild at 12.7 million, followed by Pokemon Let's Go at 10.6. I just want to point out, Pokemon Let's Go, where a lot of people were saying it wasn't going to do well because it's just a remastered Pokemon Yellow. It's not an original generation. It still sold 10.6 million in about 5 months, and it's becoming the 5th best-selling game. So if that's the case just for a remastered, I cannot imagine what Pokemon Sword and Shield are going to be at the end of this year.
Pokemon Sword and Shield are going to be insanely huge.
It's going to blow it out of the water. And I think mostly because... Oh, we'll go to that later on. Next we have Splatoon 2 at 8.7 million, followed by Super Mario Party at 6.4. Then we have new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 3.31 million.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that is a mouthful. 1-2 Switch still holding on at number 9 with 2.97 million, and Mario Tennis at 2.64 million.
Can we just point out for a second, didn't New Super Mario Brothers, didn't that come out in February?
Yeah, it did.
Was it February or January? No, yeah, it was February. So, what? A month? A month and a half for 3.3 million?
Yeah. So if that game is going to do that well, what do you think the Mario Maker 2 is going to do in June?
Oh man, well I think that really drove a lot of later Wii U sales, and it drove, when they ported it to the 3DS, it did, really insanely well. So I mean, a Super Mario Brothers Maker 2 on the Switch is going to be, it's going to reach 10 million really quick.
It's definitely going to drive Twitch and YouTube live streams going crazy, especially now that Nintendo has removed their content creators program and opening up the online market to everyone. That game is going to get so much online attention. It's just going to visually cause a cycle of grabbing people's attention. People are going to buy it and just going to want to live stream or get involved in that community as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know that Ross from the Game Grumps basically made a bet with Aaron and said that if they bring Super Mario Maker 2, his full-time job for, I think it was a month, was going to be just making levels, so that way Aaron and Danny could rage. So, which I thought was hilarious, because if you've ever seen any of those videos, they are bad, like crazy. Like, I don't even want to think about the rage I would have if I was playing them.
I definitely gotta check those out. I've never been a 2D Mario fan, so I was always more of a 3D Mario person. So definitely going to check it out when it comes out. As for the rest of the 2019 game lineup, it is stacked. And I mean, possibly making 2017 looking like Child's Play almost. Granted, 2017 had Zelda, Mario, and Splatoon 2, mostly as the focal major first-party titles. In 2019, we have Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I think is going to be underrated, Daemon X Machina, Dragon Quest XI, which we know is a heavily enhanced port for the Switch with bonus content, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Link's Awakening. That's about 8 games there that are just going to drive the latter half of 2019 for the Switch to go through the roof in sales.
Sean, let me stop you there. You forgot one of the most important titles that we've both been looking forward to. Astral Chain.
Oh, son of a gun. I keep forgetting that.
That game.
It's so hard to forget, actually, only because they've been marketing on Twitter so often now.
They have, I think, at least twice a week, they've put up something Astral Chain related. And it's crazy how much they're marketing that game.
Yeah, if you're a Japanese game fan, between Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Daemon X Machina, and Dragon Quest XI, you are in for a hell of a treat for the end of the year.
This year is just going to be, it's like you said, it was stacked. There is, I cannot even, my wallet is crying as we're talking about this, because I'm like, okay, there's a game this month, there's 2 games that month, another game that month. So it's gonna be crazy.
So with this game lineup, Nintendo forecasts to have 18 million Switches sold this fiscal year, and with last year selling just under 17 million, I definitely think they can make this goal.
Oh yeah,
easily, especially with a Pokemon title in there.
Yeah, with just the Pokemon title alone, I think that's what drove between Pokemon and Smash. That really drove the sales, and I think it blew a lot of expectations out of the water. So a mainline Pokemon game, and that's going to be crazy. But then you've got, like you said, looking back at the log, you've got Super Mario Maker, that's a big seller. Then you've got Link's Awakening, that's going to be crazy. Animal Crossing, Sword and Shield, like all of these games are going to do very, very well, and it's going to sell a lot of units.
So going through the financial report, a couple of the notes to talk about. The Switch subscription, for being as poorly as people make it out to be, they're at 9.8 million subscribers. I think Tetris 99 had a great effect on that, especially since Nintendo actually called it out in their financial report, discussing how many, I think they said 2 million players have played Tetris Effect alone at like one time.
It's crazy.
Definitely, there's online subscription service is doing fairly well, even though it's not the greatest. I know they recently are looking for new hires to improve it and manage it better, so it's only going to get better from here. And then another thing to note is that we have not 1 but 2 mobile games coming out later this year. We already know Mario Kart Tour, and the second one is Dr. Mario Worlds.
I really hope that that beta comes to the US for Mario Kart Tour, just because it'd be awesome to give it a shot, because we've been waiting on this game for quite a while. So I'm curious to see how it plays.
Yeah, speaking of which, hold on one sec. Okay, I just ordered Rosetta Zone for Japanese. I think we're good.
Thank you. But one of the things that I also thought was interesting about this, financial report, some of the questions is that one of the questions that was answered was that there are no new titles for the 3DS to announce.
Yeah, it's definitely coming towards the end of the 3DS's life. If not, we are already there. The end of an era, which unfortunately we're going to have some kind of ceremony for the 3DS for keeping Nintendo afloat during the Wii U days.
A moment of silence for the 3DS. All right, now we're back. I really think that the 3DS had a really long life, and they're probably still going to continue to push the 2DS, the new 2DS, especially bundling it out there. But we'll see what happens from now on, and I still think there are still some third-party developers that are trying to put stuff on there. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
All right, so to close out this video, Damon, is there any game in particular you're most excited for, and do you have a bold prediction for the Nintendo Switch for 2019?
Dude, can I name more than one? I really am looking forward to Astral Chain. That's probably top of my list. Link's Awakening, and probably Animal Crossing. I'm ready to dive back into Animal Crossing and waste hundreds of hours picking plants and catering to neighbors.
All right, nice.
What about you?
I'm definitely excited for Fire Emblem. Never played a Fire Emblem game, so I'm excited to jump into the franchise. I'm definitely going to spend at least 200 hours in Pokemon Sword and Shield. There's just something different about exploring a new Pokemon generation than going through a remake. So I can't wait to experience that game. And then definitely Daemon X Machina.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for the video. Thank you for joining our State of the Union for Nintendo for 2019. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you on the next adventure. Bye.